Yeah, for this morning's video, wanted to reward the folks out there in video land with a shot of my faithful four-legged companion who's with me here every morning on the 24 hours of action, although she's not taking a whole lot of action. She just follows me in here and goes back to sleep. But just wanted to give Stella a chance to say hello. And she's going to go back to bed. Anyway, I'm going to fire up the podcast here. I'll just keep you guys with me. Get a little extra exclusive double secret bonus content for the video portion of the 24 hours of action. Let's fire up the podcast. Here we go. I'm going to do the intro music, which I just realized that on video you actually don't hear the intro music. All you do is see me sitting here kind of patiently waiting for the music to fade out, and then I begin my spiel. So here we go. I'm pushing record now. There's going to be about 8 or 9 seconds of me waiting for the music to fade, and then we'll be off and running. Hello, my friend. It is Wednesday. It is May the 9th, 2018, and this is hour number 15 of the 24 hours of action, which is an experiment to see just how far forward we can all push our goals by committing to one action-packed hour every day. For 24 consecutive days, I am committing 1 hour to my goal of creating consistent, valuable content across a variety of platforms. I'm making a podcast, a YouTube video, and a blog post every single day. Jump on that email list at 24hoursofaction.com. Get some behind-the-scenes peeks and even let your voice be heard on the podcast. There is a section on the homepage there called Chat with Me, and if you click that, it'll go to my calendar where you can secure a spot to have a few moments with me on the podcast if you like. Love to have you. I'm not feeling great this morning. This part of the joy of 24 days in a row of making this commitment is that I have to be here no matter what, and I am struggling this morning. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm doing the best I can to mask the massive congestion that's going on in my whole entire face, but I'm sure it's coming through. But that's just the way it goes, my friend. I had a girlfriend years ago who, for some reason, found the sound of my voice when I had a cold to be very sexy, and she liked hearing it over the phone. It was weird. Wonder what she's doing right now. Anyway, I've developed a plan, actually just in the past 30 minutes, for the final episode of the 24 hours of action, which will be hour 24, which is coming up just 10 short days from now. And I'll talk about that plan a little bit more in a minute at the end of this episode. First, I'd like to share something that I've learned over these past 15 days of getting up at 4:30 every morning, getting on Facebook Live, getting on Instagram Live, writing a blog post, recording a podcast, and recording a video. Back in hour 12, I mentioned something called the imposter syndrome, which is all based around self-doubt. And let me just real quick, I'm going to read you the Wikipedia definition of the imposter syndrome, just so we can all be on the same page as far as the definition of the imposter syndrome. From Wikipedia, the imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern in which people doubt their accomplishments and have a persistent, often internalized fear of being exposed as a, quote, fraud. Despite external evidence of their competence, those exhibiting the syndrome remain convinced that they are frauds and do not deserve the success they have achieved. Proof of success is dismissed as luck, timing, or as a result of deceiving others into thinking they are more intelligent and competent than they believe themselves to be. That's the end of the Wikipedia definition of the imposter syndrome. So for me, when it comes to content creation, especially content creation that occurs every day, the imposter syndrome rears its ugly head a lot. Almost every single day over these past 15 days, I've been affected with it to some degree. Thinking to myself things like, who am I? Who am I to be doing this? Why would anyone care about what I have to say? And even when I achieve some success, because I have had some success and some nice wins over these past 15 days. But despite these wins, I still sometimes find myself dismissing my accomplishments and feeling like somehow I'm a fraud and I should just go back to bed. So what I've learned is that the imposter syndrome is real, and these feelings of self-doubt, of feeling like a fraud, they come regularly, and they probably always will, because even with some success, it doesn't go away. But, and this is the key takeaway here, what I have also learned is that the imposter syndrome goes away the moment I start taking the next action. Specifically, it goes away the moment that I push record on my podcast each morning. And then again, when I see my podcast go live that day in Apple Podcasts and I see my blog post up on the web, it's during those moments, that's when I feel like I belong and I see my purpose and I know why I'm doing this. And in those moments, I feel the way that I want to feel, which is that even if only one person reads my blog or only one person listens to the podcast or watches the video, if I can add value, just an ounce of value to that person's life, then it's a win for me. And that's the way I want to feel about this. And that's the way I do feel during those moments of action. Those feelings of self-doubt, my friend, that imposter syndrome, those feelings crop up in the downtimes, those lulls between the action. For me, it's especially strong first thing in the morning. Who doesn't feel like an imposter at 4:30 in the morning? But during those times of action is when I feel the most alive, when my personal belief, my belief in myself is at its peak, is when I'm taking that action, doing that thing, moving that needle forward. And then the downtimes will come when that action ceases. But the quicker you can resume that action, the quicker you can get back to those strong feelings of self-worth and feeling like what you're doing is important. And by taking regular, consistent action, which I'm doing every day or have been doing every day for the last 15 days, you never have to sit in those lulls for too long, because those lulls can break you. If those lulls go on for too long and you're doubting yourself for days, weeks, months at a time, it's real easy just to throw in the towel on your goals. And I don't want to see that happen for you. I don't want to see it happen for me. I don't want to see it happen for anybody, because I know that self-doubt is real and it can have just a crippling effect on achieving your goals. So take action, my friend, consistent action, and stay at your peak. And I'd love to hear about it. Please, I'd love for you to share your stories of dealing with self-doubt and how it's affected your achieving or not achieving your goals. All right, my friend, today I shared a lesson that I've learned from spending the past 15 days working on my goal of creating content. I mentioned this before. For the final episode for hour 24, which is coming up in just 9 episodes away now, I am going to share all the lessons. And there have been a lot. I've been keeping a running list, and I'm going to share all those lessons on the list and all the details that go with them. So definitely stay with me for this remaining 9 days of the 24 hours of action. And don't miss hour 24, where I'm going to spill it all the lessons, the big and small, everything I've learned on this journey. It's all going to be right there for you in that 24th and final hours of action, or 24th hour of action. And yeah, that's going to do it for today, my friend. We're going to wrap this up right here. Definitely, like I said before, jump on that mailing list at 24hoursofaction.com. Get the behind the scenes looks, and it's a direct line to me if you have any questions. Really, really love to have you on board. All right, my friend, have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow for the 16th hour in this 24 hours of action. Bye.